Right. We're up to Ois Beis. V'hinei chol hamoshol hazeh hu l'maylo ba'oir ein sof baruch hu. The moshel, the example we gave before about the different levels of machshava and dibur, how the letters descend to the level of machshava and the level of dibur, and yet they come from a place which is higher than machshava and dibur. These oisiyos, they come from the nefesh. So this is also going to be an example, as we said before, that we get to understand godliness by looking at our physical body, the way our relationship with our understanding and the neshama and our thought and speech. So we'll also understand sort of how the speech and thought of Hashem, so to speak, come down, the letter of Oisiyos, into Machshava and Dibur of the world, which would be the world of Bria and Yitzira, and then Asiya, as we will see. So he says like this, Ulamailo be'erin sobaru, ki hinei gilui hasogas haneshomis be'elukus ulis anig al havaya. The revelation to the souls that they should be able to grasp godliness, so that the soul understands godliness, which is what the souls do in Gan Eden. They understand Elokus, Bilhis Aneg al Havaya, and they delight over Hashem. So Af Shahu Taineg Niflo, even though this is a very wondrous Tainug, Im Kol Zehu Rak Mibchinas Oisiyos, still it is only from the level of Oisiyos, which means it's only from the level of Levushim. It's only the level of a garment, just like we were saying before, that the letters bring the machshava, the letters bring the dibur. The letters are the vehicles for the seichel, but they're not seichel themselves. The amount of revelation that the soul is able to grasp and to delight in Hashem is only from the level of these letters. Look at that Mamer Gabei Kasher Dibarta Leimer. So it says over there Malchus the Atzilus, that the level of Malchus from Atzilus, that is considered Malchus the Atzilus Shehi Oisiyos Hadibur the Atzilus. That is the level of Dibur of Atzilus. Those are the level of Malchus. Is Nasir Atik the Bria. That becomes the crown, the remove of Bria. Shuhu Mokir v'Shoirish Gan Eden Ha'elyen. That is the source and the root for Gan Eden, the upper level of Gan Eden. So the Gan Eden, which is in Bria, that's the Gan Eden Ha'elyen, is in Bria. Gan Eden Ha'tachna is in Yitzira. Gan Eden Ha'elyen is in Bria. That comes from Malchus Atzilus. So Malchus Atzilus is the level of Oisiyos. So now specifically, Gan Eden Ha'elyon, the upper level of Gan Eden, that is who Oisiyos HaMachshava, that's what they grasp. That's the level of Oisiyos of Machshava, the higher level. The Gan Eden HaTachten, and the lower level of Gan Eden, that's the higher level of Gan Eden HaTachten, who Gan Eden HaTachten, B'chinas Dibur, that's the level of Dibur. So the they all come from the level of Oisios, but the higher level of Gan Eden is from Machshava. The lower level of Gan Eden does, so to speak, Hashem's Oisios, Hashem's Dibur, in the way the Oisios where they come Dibur or they come Machshava. This the Pasuk says, Barosiv Yitzartiv Af Asisiv. Hashem created, that's the level of Bria, Barosiv. Yitzartiv formed it, that's the level of Yitzira. And then we say Af Asisiv, that's the level of Asiya. Asisiv is the level of Yitzira. So Barosiv, therefore, that's Bechinas HaMachshava. Barosiv, that's the level of Machshava, which is Gan Eden Elyon. Yitzartiv is Bechinas HaDibur, the Gan Eden HaTachton. Af Asisiv, who Oilom HaMaseh, Ha'oilom Hazeh HaGashmi. That's the act, the world of action, which is this physical world. So this is coming down from the level of Dibur, coming down to the Gan Eden Elyon, to Gan Eden HaTachton, coming down into this world. That's from the level of Malchus, comes all to the Oisius through these Hishtalshlus, through Machshava, Dibur, and then Maisa, Bri, Yitzira, and Asiya. But here, you're saying Yitzartiv Af Asisiv. It doesn't say Barosiv Yitzartiv Asisiv. It says Af Asisis. So he explained in the parentheses, Ayin Mashakosu B'Dibur HaMaschil Mimono, look in that Mamer, the Af Uloshun Ribui. Af means also, it includes something else. It said Barosiv Yitzartiv and also Asisiv. So what is the Af also? Umar Bechina Revis, that includes a fourth level, Shalamailom Bechinas Machshava Dibur Umaisa, which is higher than thought, speech, and action. Sheheim Rak Levushim La'erin Sof Baruch Hu. Machshava Dibur and Maisa, which is B'ri Yitzirasiya, they are garments. Levushin Tkinos, like I said before, the Oisius are garments for the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. But the level of Af is a higher level than the garments. V'hainu Bechinas Rotzin Ha'elyon. That is the Rotzin Ha'elyon. That is the will of the Supreme that dresses up in the Machshava Dibur Maisa. Shehu Oira in Sof Baruch Hu Ba'atzmai U'B'chvaydoi. This is the light of the Ein Sof by himself, and his honor shenimshach al yidei kiyum hamitzvot ba'olam hazeh chulu. That is drawn down through the observance of mitzvahs in this world, hulu ayin sham. So you get the af from Asisi. When you come to the level of Asisi, when we do a mitzvah in Olam Hazeh Hagashmi, not like in Gan Eden Ha'elyon and Tach Brosiv Yitzarti, that's the level of grasping and Tainugan Neshamas. But when you come to the level of Asisi in Olam Hazeh Hagashmi, so then you have the af, you get the level of the Rotzon Ha'elyon, a higher Madrega. Similar as in that Maimar in Mimona, we can say similar to what the Alter Rebbe is writing here. That in the upper level of Gan Eden, you get from the level of letters of thought. And in the lower level, you get from Dibur. Sheim calls that. So, with all, notwithstanding all this, that they get that higher level, when we fulfill Torah and mitzvahs in this world, we add additional light into the Gan Eden. So, the mitzvahs over here are mamshich from a higher level of Rotzin Gan Eden. That is the idea. What is this Rotzin Elyon? The concept is that you have the supreme will and the supreme and the upper level of Chochmah, the Chochmah, you have it dressed up b'machshava v'dibur. So in the machshava and dibur, in what's nimshach in B'riya and Yitzira, you're mamshich the higher level from the level of the Eisiyus HaMachshava, from the level of rationality, the Chochmah law. Al derech, similar to the idea which we say, that your thoughts are very deep, and that means that they're infused by the higher level, and as it's in the Mamer, Shema Chadoshim, Inyan Vanechei Began Eden Lov Du L'Shomro, Udivra Maschil Oz Yoshir Yisrael Chulu Ali Beir Chulu, V'ayim Hashkos Udivra Maschil Ani, the Pashas Tzitzis B'inyan Beis Palmani, L'Yisla Chachanukim. V'hinei, V'yud Nivro Ha'olam Habo. So we say that the Olam Haba is created through the Yud at the level of Tzimtzum. Avol Ha'olam Hazeh Nikra Behei, Nivra Behei, was created with the Hey, Yud Kei Tzur Olam, and Yud is, the Gemara says, is Olam Haba, and Hey is the Olam Hazeh. Now, it would seem that the Yud is higher than the level of the Hey, just like we say, the level of Hey, just like we say the level of Yud K, so the level of Yud is a letter which is higher than the level of the Hey. So it will seem like here we're saying that in Olam Hazeh you get the Af, you get the Ratzonel in the Chochmah Law to dress up in the Machshava, but this is Nivra is Yud, Olam Haba, and Olam Hazeh is with the Hey. So he says, V'yesh b'china b'Hei b'shorsho, there is a level in the Hey, in its root, Gavoya Mehayud, which is higher than the Yud. Meshakosov al-Posik Lech Lecha, like it's written on the Posik Lech Lecha, and Hey da Avraham, over there discussing the Hey of Avraham, they called his name Avraham with the Hey. Alkein, Aidei HaTshuva Maisim Tovim B'Olam Hazeh, there's a Yofesh Achas B'Tshuva Maisim Tovim B'Olam Hazeh. When we do tshuva ma'asim tovim in this world, so then you actually mamshichim teisus oir began Eden. We add additional light in Gan Eden. Okay. The nachzel in yanenu v'inyan ha'oisius machshava dibur. So let's go back to the idea. This is in the principle. Going back to the idea of the oisius of machshava and dibur. So we were discussing that in order for malchus, the way it comes down. In Bri Yitzira comes down to the level of Machshov and Dibur. The Heim Rak B'chinas Levushim La'ira Sof Baruch. The letters, the Hamshocha, they're only garments to the Sof Baruch, which means they're not the Eir Sof Baruch himself. Just like the letters are the vehicles, they're the garments that carry the Machshov and the Dibur, but they're not the Seichel itself. Like it says in the Tikkun Zohar, Levushin tekinas loin, that you have prepared for them garments. That's for the spheres, for the Ein Sof itself. You have created the garments that the Machshava and Dibur. The Minayu Porchin Nishmosin Chulu, that from those garments the souls fly, which means they come down into the Bri Yitzira Asiyah. But with regards to the blessed, the light of the infinite, light of by himself, Hashem himself, over there you can't understand, there is no grasping. So Bri Yitzira, the revelation that we get, only we get from the level of Oisius, the garments, but we can't grasp anything beyond that, because no thought can grasp him at all. While you are a hakim, you're a chochma, but it's not with the chochma that we know. According from the Rambam, it's a whole different level of chochma. the Indian Pirush over there, he explains the meaning Antchakim, the idea of Antchakim. And okay. So when we talk about the higher law level, over there is no revelation. Over there we say Yoshes Choshech Sisrei, that the Eibishter places darkness wherever Hashem hides his place of where Hashem finds himself. That's dark. What does it mean, Choshech? Choshech udavar she'enei nire boy shum tfisa v'asoga klal. When you say dark, that is an item that you can't see in it, you can't grasp it, you can't understand it at all. It's dark. That's Choshech Sisra. V'ayim ha'shekosu b'divur ha'maschil rosh ha'matis. All of them are Yoshes Choshech Sisra chulu b'divur ha'maschil yikra ha'mesh. So basically, the Gilui is only in Oisios, but not in the Ein Sof himself. Over there, you can't, that's dark. So we call the place that we don't have any comprehension, we call that dark because we can't reach that. But to us, that is dark. But in Nikolzehu mimato l'maylo, that is from below to above. Nikra masha l'maylo ma'asogas hanivroyim b'shem choshech. So we call that which is beyond the grasp of the created, we call it dark. It's dark because we don't have a way of grasping it, and therefore it's to us it's dark. It's not nira. It's not visible. Pirush mashein musik, meaning what is not that it's not grasped. Like we say, yoitzer oir uboyre chosher. So yoitzer refers to like is yitzira, and boyre is bria. Now yitzira is lower than bria, so it's atzilus bria yitzira. Bria is called darkness, and yitzira is oir. Why is that? Bria is in a higher level because of the level of bria, because it's not comprehensible as much as yitzira. That's why it's called dark. The darkness is in the level of bria, because that is beyond the level of revelation which is in yitzira. Even though we were discussing before that all of the level of bria yitzira is machshava, so even bria is machshava, is also a gilu, is also a graspable. The Gan Eden, the neshamas do have a graspable, but relative to the light that comes in yitzira, it's called choshech. It's darkness because it's higher than the light which comes down into the level of atzilus. That's why yotzer is the light, but is the choshech. Bria hu machshava v'yitzira dibur. Bria is the level of thought, and yitzira is the level of dibur. So what's in your one's thoughts, the letter and the gilui in the thought, the machshava is higher, is less visible than the oisius, than the visibility in yitzira, which is the level of dibur. Over there, there's the actual senses of the word, so you can actually grasp it. So he gives now the mashal from a student and a rav. The student can only get the words and comprehend the word that the rabbi speaks. But that which is in the rabbi's mind, he doesn't have any idea about that. So that means the Rav's idea, the teacher's idea in his mind is dark to him. And to him, the visibility to the student, that's no matter to the student, he only relates to the words that the Rav speaks. But to the Rav, it's just the opposite. The idea is that in his hands, that's the revelation. Because, and what he gives is dark because it's only a minimal amount. Let's look inside. Relative to the students, hadibur shel harav nikra oir v'gilu. The speech of the Rav is called light and revelation. Avol machshava shel Rav, but the thought of the Rav, yadayin choshech etzel hatalmid. That's still dark. The student doesn't grasp what's in the Rabbi's machshava. Avol legabe harav atzmei, but relative to the Rav himself, over there it's just the opposite. Haradibur shaloi. So the speech that he speaks is kiloi choshiv neged machshavtoi. Compare that to his thought. What he gives out is like nothing. It's very little. That which the Rav thinks in one instant, then he needs to speak of it a lot of talk to give out that one thought. Okay, Nikra Etzlai HaMachshava Oir. So relative to the Rav, the Machshava is called the light, but Dibur Nikra Choshech L'Gaba Machshava, and the Dibur is called darkness relative to the Machshava. Va'oid. And another reason explaining why is the Yitzira called the Oir, and the Machshava and Bria is called darkness. So another reason is the Bria Meir Chabad Atzilus. In the world of Bria, over there shines the level of Chochom Bina Dalsa of Atzilus. Shenikra Chabad of Atzilus is called Alma de Iskasio. That's the hidden world. Chabad of Atzilus is a hidden world. That comes to the Bria. Relative Legabe Hamidas Atzilus Shenikra Alma de Isgalia. Relative to the world of the relative to the midas of Atzilus, midas is called Isgalia. Amirim be Yitzira, which shine in Yitzira. So basically, in Bria you have Chabad, in Yitzira you have midas. Midas next to Chabad are considered to be Alma Disgalia. When we talk about Chochma Atzilus, over there it says Hanis Toris Lashem Alekenu. That's the hidden. That's Lashem Alekenu. For that reason, the Lochei Kam Hasrafim Shem Bibria Nikra Emdi Mimaloi. They're called. They're standing Mimal Loi in the level of Bria. What does it mean? Mimal Loi. Mimal Levov. Mimal Levov. Mal Loi means Pirush Mal Levov. What is the Vov? The Vov is the Vov Ktsoves Hamakanim B'Yitzira. Bria is Aimdim, the Serafim, which are in Bria, they stand beyond the Vov, the 6 corners, which is in Yitzira. Vov Ktsoves are the Midos, those are the Chesed, Gura, Tiferes, Netzach, Haydin, Yisoi, those are the Vov Ktsoves. They are nesting Hamakanim in Yitzira. That is, in Bria, the Serafim are Mima'aloi, they're higher than the Vov. And their service of the Serafim is not in a way like the Chayis Nefanim, which are in Yitzira. They go up, they raise with a lot of noise, the Vishaim, Alma Disgalia, because they are from the revealed world. So you see that Bria has the infused by Chabad, which is the Nistoris, which is the place of the Serafim. And the level of Yitzira, that is the level of the Midos. The Midos are the Gilui, they are Nigilos. No, they are the Vav Ktsovis, which are nesting in Yitzira from the Midos of Atzilus. V'gam Iso. Also, we say, Kisha'imer, we say like this, we find like this. When a person says Yotzer Oir, Yimashmesh B'Tfilin Shel Yad, then he should touch his, we say Yotzer Oir Uvei Choshech. So by Yotzer Oir, you touch your hand to fill in. Uvei Choshech, and when you say B'Rei Choshech, so then you mashmesh, then you touch your then you touch your mashmesh with tefillin shel rosh, then you touch your tefillin of the rosh. So you see that Yotzer Oir is the yad, and the yad is a lower level than the tefillin shel rosh. You say Yotzer Oir, you touch the yad, B'Rei Choshech, you touch the shel rosh. Umevur b'mokom achar, elsewhere it's explained that tefillin shel yad nikro Chosim Shikeya, that the Tefillin Sheyad is called like a seal which is sunk in, which would represent the idea of Hislapshus Ha'eres Bikelim. Sunk in, meaning that the light that is in the Shalyad is a light that comes in the vessels. That would be similar to Yitzira, which is more comprehensible, which is Gilui Oil. It's explained. Nikra Choisem Boilet. That's called a protruding seal, a seal that on the outside it protrudes the seal. That is Oires Shalamayla Mehakelim. That doesn't sit. The signet itself, the Choisem, is the Keli, but the tzir in there is either shekeya, which would represent a level of oiris bikelim, or it's boilet, which represent oiris higher, so ma'il umerumas dafke b'beir cheshach. So that is hinted when we say beir cheshach. That's why we touch the tefillin shel roish when we say beir cheshach. Because now we don't have that level of the tefillin shel roish, the level of protruding, the level of oil, l'mayla ma'kele doesn't come now. So how do we move on? So what do we understand from all the above? That's leinu mashem izgala. By us, the way it works for us, that mashem izgala nikra, that which is revealed, nikra oil. That's called light. That what which can see. That is called light. Nikra oil. That's called light. And that which is higher than revelation, which would be the level of that's called cheshach. That's higher. That is called cheshach. And similar, kol the higher it's a madrega, it's more cheshach. So by us, that's what's visible is light, and what's not visible is cheshach. He's trying to get to the eish chayra and the eish levana, that by Hashem, the white, what's gilu is actually the higher one. But from above to below is just the opposite. That which comes more revealed to understanding, that's more dark, relative to the essence of the Ein Sof by himself and his honor. The higher it is, the lower, the more it comes down to revelation, that is more dark. The Zohar writes like this: the Keser Elyon. Keser Elyon means the supreme Keser. That's a level which is even higher than the level of Atzilus. So over there it says in the Zohar, Afal Gav Diyu Oir Tzach Oir Mitzuch. Even though that is a very refined tzach, a very clear, and it's a light which is Mitzuch, which is also refined, and yet Uchmahu Legabe Ilas Ha'ilishulu. But it's Uchma, it's dark, it's black, relative to the one who causes all causes, which means next to Hashem, even the greatest light is dark. So that means that coming down to the Madrega makes it dark, because in order for it to come down, it's not the real level of light. The real level of light is the Ein Sof. The Kulon is Chashon Kamei. All of the levels become darkened. Is Chashon, Choshech Kamei, are dark before Hashem. Uksiv, and it further says Kula Kamei Kilechoshiv, that everything next to Hashem is like nothing. So basically, the more it comes down, the darker it is, and the more it's refined, the more higher it is. It stays up. We also explained this in the pasuk. It says Kikil Deus, that Hashem perceives and tolerates two views: the view from Milmaila Lamata and Mata Lamaila. The way we have a perspective, that's one daya, and there's a daya which is Milmaila Mata Lamaila. When we go from below to above, Nikra Lamata Yesh. So what's down is called a Yesh, Umasha Lamaila Nikra Ayin, and what's above is called not, because we see ourselves. We are the entity. What we don't understand, that's called the ayin. Avo milmailo limata, but the way it works, milmailo limata, from above to below, it's verkehrt, just the opposite. Over there, they see up the yeshem, we're the ayin, we're nothing. So now we're coming back to the pointer. When we talk about the Eir Ein Sof by himself, which is beyond the ability to grasp, that level, Nikra Oir, that's called Oir B'chinas Eish Levana. It's going back to what he was saying before, that we have the level of the Eish Levana and the Eish Shchira. So he says that this level of Hashem, which is in a Madrega, that it's really light. That's the highest of Madrega. That's the Eish Levana. Al Gabe Eish Shchira, which means that represents that when it comes down to the lower level, then it comes to the level of Eish Shchira. And Alter Rebbe will continue to explain how all these different levels, how they come down, and how it works out at the end, all the different madregas. But I guess we're out of time, so we'll leave it over here, and we'll continue in Mr. Shem